contour work happening. So that's good to see. Beefing up some of these smaller contours. Just obviously the bigger they are, the more water they can carry without causing any damage. Well, g'day guys, it's Matt here. We are currently heading to the development block to do some excavator work, and you should be able to see some of that in the previous video, I think vlog 60. And yeah, then we're also got to do a bit of Kelly chaining there, and the dozers, both dozers are working there doing contour banks. So we should be able to see a little bit of that. Just depends how much time I've got spare. See what happens when we get there. Well guys, I've just hopped into the 555 here to do a little bit of Kelly chaining, just a small section, shouldn't take too long. But that is a bank that is currently being redone. So you can see here, I'm just driving through, there's a little bit of a bank here. Over time obviously the banks sink down and not quite as deep or tall, they fill in with silt and all that. So they do usually need a bit of attention once every maybe 5 to 10 years, just depending on conditions. But yeah, what we're aiming to do here is just really beef them up. Obviously the bigger you make them too, the easier it is to farm over. You don't have any short, sharp little dips to try and go over with sprays and things, where you end up just getting quite an impressive amount of boom whip. So yeah, that's the general idea. So yeah, there's quite a few contours here already, so yeah, a lot of them are going to get redone over the next however long it takes. I think at this stage we're just focusing on this paddock. So yeah, there's just one or maybe 2 paddocks here that we're going to do, and then we'll have to go off and do some other things and come back to it eventually. So we'll get this unfolded, then do this section here. You can just see the top of the other dozer down there, so that's a separate bank. But yeah, no, they work quite well pushing up contour banks, because you got 6.5 meters or so width to push. It doesn't really take long at all. And yeah, the other thing here is you can see there's quite a few rocks. Window's not overly clean, but we do have quite a few rocks in this section, so just waiting till the afternoon and getting into it now, just while there's a bit more heat into the straw and that, so we can smash that up a bit. And then the rock picker will be coming here to tidy up those rocks. And the less amount of straw that goes through it, the better. You end up with a lot more dirt in the rock picker when there's straw there, because it sort of all binds together, and yeah, it's not great. Probably can't see too well, but it really helps just to flick the rocks up on top too. When this goes over it, it just loosens them up, flicks them up, and then they brings them to the surface a bit. So yeah, then it's a lot easier for the rock picker to get them. Must be a bit of moisture down deep. It's all sticking to the tracks. The new Hungry board on there is working quite well too. It's going good. You'd think you'd get used to the size of those things, but when you rock up next to it and you feel small, they're quite massive. So it looks like what he's doing there now is just using the GPS to level off where he started the dig. And it leaves it nice and smooth. You don't have a sort of a steep drop off, and yeah, with the GPS obviously you're not guessing, it's all on grade. We'll probably do that in the middle as well, and yeah, then smooth off the bank. So hopefully by the end of this video we'll see what these banks look like when they're pretty much done. Oh, we can do an update every time I drive past. bit rough here. Sorry for the shaky camera. Looks like just top dressing the bank off there, so he's just shaping it. Looks like it's yeah, coming up pretty good. It's quite cloddy, and it always is, because you're digging a fair way throughout. It melts down in the rain, and obviously go over it a few times. So there's quite a few big rocks there we'll need to deal with as well. Leveling it all out to grade. Yeah, should another few passes and it should be looking like a good bank. Got the other new contour going in here, or technically not new, it's being updated. You can just see that contour bank I just went through there. That is in between these two, so we don't generally need to do a big contour bank every single contour. The idea is that if you do every second contour bank really big, so I got one there and one there, then this one here is not likely going to need to carry a lot of water, and even if it does happen to blow out, the big banks will well and truly cover it. So that's the general gist. So I managed to get a bit done there, got the Kelly chaining finished, but I didn't have any chance to get any good footage of the dozers, so there was no drone footage, unfortunately, but there's plenty more opportunity for that in coming videos. So I think I've got some weed editing to do tomorrow, but they are talking about possibility of a bit of rain. Just see how far along we get with that.
Well folks, Peter here again, just updating you on what's happening around the place. We've got here the bucket off the excavator, and that all looks really good until you get here, and we've cracked a 100mm pin, and we're pretty sure we know why, because it was unsupported. The boss didn't come out to there, and that was where the excavator grabs onto it. So every time we used it, it was flexing a little bit in that area and couldn't take it anymore. So that's one for the books. Got to learn about that one. And while we're at it, there's been another addition to the fleet. There was a new arrival in the stall. Well, new for us. It's a 7-year-old 160 horsepower front wheel assist New Holland. Now I don't know a lot of the details, the boys have been sorting that out, but the little Deutz we had was just a bit too light for what we're expecting of it. So we're hoping that this will do a little bit easier. It's got the 4 remotes, which is a help. It's a little bit heavier, quite a bit more horsepower. It's got the IVT transmission, which makes it easier for when you get a bucket of rocks. You can just, instead of going for the clutch and changing gears, you can just go off to where you're going to dump them and unload, and then come back with all the clutching and gear shifting, which doesn't sound like a tremendous issue, but it is when you're on it all day. And so at the moment too, Matt's on the weed back at the home place, trying to get a few weeds that have been hard to kill this year. In the distance there you'll see a couple of contour banks. The boys are up there working, but I'm guessing if I was watching this channel of Matt's that I would have some questions about what we're doing and why. So it seems pretty extreme. We seem to be going pretty hard, but the background is, in the drought we lost a fair bit of equity and we needed to get some back, so we sold a developed block and bought an undeveloped block. So we were looking for 2 streams of income to help the equity situation. So we're seeing more production off this new block, but we're also hoping for some capital gain or asset value increase by the work we're doing, which is really what's driving the frenetic activity that we're involved in. So it's not just we're being mindless or silly about what we're doing, it's targeted investment in the machinery and the gear that we need to develop this block as quickly as we can without being silly, to increase the value of the assets that we have. So that might give you some understanding.
Well, we got a little bit of weed eating done yesterday, but we got hit with a bit of rain. So I think we've ended up with near on 30 mils of rain overnight. So needless to say, it is too wet to do pretty much everything. But we've been hanging out for probably 2-3 weeks now for a bit of a wet spell, so we can get a few of the shed jobs done, because we all keep breaking stuff, me included. And on that note, so this here is back up at the main shed here, so we can see to this and get this all fixed up. It's a lot nicer to use this when you're clearing up sticks and rocks and things. And yeah, the actual sieve side of it works quite well, as long as it's not too wet. So we're looking forward to getting this back going. The other thing that's going on is this is having some overheating issues. Just after it sits for a while and then you go to use it, it gets pretty hot and then it calms down a bit. But what we found is, I've actually taken it off, but the viscous hub there is leaking. And I'll show you that in a minute. But we've got the old ute here being worked on. That needed new CVs and things like that. But yeah, we've got the old hub here. You can see along the outside there's oil, which it's not meant to be, so it's not working properly. It does have an electric clutch on it as well, which doesn't seem to be working either. So I'm going to do something extremely dodgy and put 4 bolts straight through here to lock up the disc that's inside. Because of the climate where we have here, it's not going to hurt it. The thermostat should take control of the rest of it. It'll just use more, a bit more power all the time, obviously driving the fan flat out, but it is $3,500 and a 10-week wait for that. So we can't do that. And you can put the fluid back in it. There's a little bung there, but that's only temporary, obviously, because it's still leaking. So yeah, we can't have it overheating. And even in winter here, the fan running flat out, it's not gonna, the engine will still get up to temperature. So there's no dramas there. Well, we're just putting this fan back on. I'll show you what I've done. You can see there's a bolt. That's just a 1/4-inch bolt, because there's a disc that runs inside that hub. And yeah, so just putting the bolt through it means that disc can't spin freely. So now the fan is stuck. So that'll get us by for the minute. We may never need to come back and address this, but for the moment, she's not going to overheat at least. Well guys, it's another day. We've got a bit of a modification happening here. So this is Brad's ute. He had a tub on the back and it got damaged. So we're able to just, instead of getting that repaired, put that money into getting a new tray. So yeah, it looks like a proper ute now. We've got a few little extras. It's got the water and soap dispenser there. And yeah, there's little side toolboxes here. They fit quite a bit in there. And then we've also got this drawer here. Still got to put all the dividers in, but it works all well. It's all sealed. Got the dust seal there. And it's double latched actually too. So if it does happen to pop out or not close properly, she won't go flying out. So that's that. And I am currently just wiring up some extras that were on his tub. So yeah, I've got the Anderson plug here. I'm going to just finish wiring that up, and then I've got a light wherever I put that. I've got a light that's going to go up here with a switch. So I think that'll nearly be done when we're done that. So the other things that are happening is this ute is starting to get put back together. I just got the engine over there, getting a few things put on it, and hopefully at some point that'll be running. But we do have the grader back here. Now, it just had a service due, so that's been done, given it a check over, and Brad has been making up a toolbox just to be able to carry some bits and pieces for it. It's looking like he's done an all right job there. So it's hard to find a spot where it's not going to get interfered with. It's not attached to the ripper there, so when the ripper's down, that clears that fine. So it's yeah, should be good. It's just very difficult to mount any toolboxes up the front anywhere up here, because the way the blade all can move in different areas and things happening over everywhere, and it's going to hit no matter where you put it. So I think that should be good. Might have to put one on the other side to make it match now. And we have an update on the bucket here. So I've been mucking around trying to get that straight again. You'll notice from previously how that had a big bend in it. So it's looking pretty good. But yeah, we've just got to do a few more measurements and get that sorted out. And then it should be good to go. Still trying to just muck around bending this bucket right so the pin can go straight through. So there's a fair bit of manoeuvring and trying this, trying that, but we're slowly getting there. So I've got the bulk of it bent back to the right position, but yeah, we're just doing, it doesn't look like it, but we're finessing it. Righto, well, we're done here. Got the Anderson plug there mounted up and the light up there. So that's done. I finished off the wiring back here. Got the trailer plug, another Anderson plug there, and the reverse camera all mounted up. So it's out of the road there, hopefully. Well guys, this very well might be the end of the video, because I don't think we're going to be doing any paddock work for a little bit. So see what happens anyway. There'll be more shed jobs to do, but yeah guys, as always, just if you enjoy the videos, just keep hitting the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll catch you in the next one.